60. It is the trip we made to Herren Chiemsee, and you're looking at the signs there that indicate the trip to the lake. I think we're in the town of Chiemsee on the German-Austrian border. There's a Frauenklinik. This is the Frauenkirche and Herren, the ladies' church and the men's church. Sign on the left says Wasserburg is 29 kilometers, Zeebrugg is 19 kilometers, Rosenheim is 20 kilometers. And let me start the adventure to Herren Chiemsee. We'll see some more of these flowers on the Insel as well, on the island, but this just gives you a view around the town of Chiemsee, and then the lake is called Herren Chiemsee, and the castle is on an island in the lake that we'll be going to shortly. And this was all put together by that wonderful mad King Ludwig, Ludwig II, King of Bavaria, who put the country into bankruptcy. And some beautiful signs. There were hand-carved signs. This is some of the comedy that is inherent in German folk art. A lot of humor. I think these guys get to drinking their beers, and this was sort of a windmill. When the wind was blowing, the whole thing turned and gave you a feeling of some of the arts and crafts that people performed around the town. Probably originated with the old trade unions, the craft unions, Kraftwerken. This was in the town square area. Quite beautiful. Getting a little flickering on the TV set now. It's not in the projection. I have not boosted the projector up to 115 volts. I'm using the current that comes out of the wall in Japan, which is 100 volts. And I'm not sure if I'm getting the prep or energy to run this projector at the speed it wants to be run at. Some more of the town architecture. Old church right in the center of town. Churches, of course, were the main theater of their day. People were entertained, highly entertained by religion, and it's an aspect often overlooked by people today, why they had these beautiful statues. People were entertained by them. They'd come and look at the statuary in the churches. Beautiful artwork. Those are not shutters on that building. They're hand-painted. That's a window, and they've hand-painted the shutters and the ornaments around the windows to give the appearance that they're actually shutters and drapes, etc. Many of the buildings don't have windows, and they paint windows on. Those are not all real windows. Some of them are hand-painted. And it's above a store. People probably live in the apartments above that store there. It's the style throughout Europe and Japan. Beautiful flower boxes. Löwenbräu, not one of the most famous beers in Germany. Here's Joseph Schlichter's place. Notice the spelling of Joseph, which is different than the American and English spelling. Germans use the F instead of the PH sound that the English have used for telephone, like Telefunken is an F, and telephone is spelled with an F in Germany, not with a PH sound. Here's Bernaustrasse. I think I probably took a shot of this to remind me of the wonderful time we spent in Bern with the listeners not too long before this trip to Bavaria. This is the summer of 72, July 1972. Just taking scenes, parked the car, and now we're going to be getting tickets to take this ferry boat across the lake, across Chiemsee, which is the name of the lake, Chiemseebahn. That looked like that was a Tanz, a dancing, there was dancing on that boat, Tanz something or other. And the Herren Insel, there's a Fraueninsel and a Herren Insel, two different Insels as you see there, leaving for Herren Insel, which is the Koenighschloss, the name of that castle, the king's castle, on Herren Chiemsee. The castle is often referred to as Herren Chiemsee, but it's actually the island is Herren Insel, and they've given it the name Herren Chiemsee as the name of the castle, but it's really Koenighschloss. There's the ferry boat we're going to take, sailboats on this beautiful lake. Very, very picturesque setting. This lake forms part of the border between Germany and Austria, and it's why Austria is such a key country in the defense of Germany, because there's so many access to Germany that are difficult to control, and why Hitler had the Anschluss that took over Austria so early in the war. Beautiful boats, beautiful scenery. Switzerland formed that same border with Germany to the south. We actually took a paddle boat across. This is one of the tour boats that spends an awful lot of time on touring the lake. It's quite a large lake. And the paddle boat that we took across only goes back and forth between the mainland and this island that we went to, and Fraueninsel, the other small island. By small, I'd say they're 5 or 6 square miles. I think we're coming into the island. I'm on the ferry boat now, coming towards the island that has some beautiful gardens and statuary and horse paths. There we're seeing a top of a piece of the castle there, piece of the one of the church steeples. Just scanning the lake and taking shots. Very beautiful day in Germany. And there you see part of the, oh, this is another paddle wheeler passing us, Ludwig Fessler, but that gives you the feeling of the type of boat we were on. And now we're arriving on Herreninsel to see the Koenighschloss. Volker will have to pronounce, oh, here's a horse-drawn wagon that are taking people around the island. You could also catch this to go to the, from the boat dock to the castle, which was maybe a half-a-mile walk through some beautiful gardens, or you could have caught this horse-drawn wagon and then have a longer ride around the island. We wanted to maximize our time in the castle, so we went directly by foot to the castle, but that's an option, Mark and Jennifer, when we go there. If you'd like to take a horse-drawn wagon ride. And here's the first scene you see that greets you as you approach this Versailles-like copy. Ludwig was infatuated with France, and the Sun King Louis XIV, and copied a tremendous number of Louis XIV's ideas and the French aristocracy. And this is an attempt to copy Versailles, and he did quite a job. They never finished Herren Chiemsee. It was never lived in by Ludwig, as were most of his other castles. Neuschwanstein is on another reel. Beautiful statuary. There is a lake there as well. The Versailles doesn't match the Versailles ponds and lakes and canals, but this was beautifully done. Ludwig spent so much money building all his castles that he literally put his country into bankruptcy. Very interesting, unusual statuary. This is a Diana-like statue on top of that mountain. Here's Neptune, god of the sea. And they didn't have the fountains spouting while we were there, but those are fountains. I guess at certain festivals they turn them on, and waterworks add to the beauty. Here's a snake climbing up the side of this crevice here. Very unusual, natural looking carvings. This guy is falling off the cliff. I think it's Adam. It depicts Adam falling from the Garden of Eden, caused by Eve with the apple scene, and there's the snake that was tempting them, and maybe that's supposed to be